The Garden's Secret. A long time ago, before the world was filled with cities and roads, there was a garden more beautiful than anything you could ever imagine. It was called Eden, and it was full of trees with golden fruits, rivers that sparkled like diamonds, and soft green grass where the animals played. In this garden lived the first man and woman, Adam and Eve. They were not just any people. They were made by God Himself, shaped with His loving hands, and given breath by His own voice. They walked through Eden hand in hand, laughing with the lions and singing with the birds. But the most wonderful part of Eden was that God was there too. Every evening, when the sun painted the sky with colors of pink and gold, God would walk with Adam and Eve. They would talk and share stories, and their hearts were full of joy. In the center of the garden stood two special trees, the tree of life and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. God had told Adam and Eve, "You may eat from any tree in the garden, but do not eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. If you do, you will surely die." One day, as Eve was walking among the trees, a sly serpent slithered near. This was no ordinary serpent. It carried a whisper from the enemy of God. "Did God really say you must not eat from any tree?" the serpent asked with a cunning smile. Eve hesitated. "We may eat from any tree except that one," she said, pointing to the forbidden tree. "God said we must not eat or even touch it, or we will die." The serpent chuckled. "Oh, but you won't die," it hissed. "God knows that if you eat it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like Him, knowing good and evil." Eve looked at the fruit. It was beautiful, and something inside her heart began to wonder. What if the serpent is right? What if God is keeping something from us? She reached out, plucked the fruit, and took a bite. Then she handed it to Adam, and he ate too. The moment they did, their hearts felt heavy. They looked at each other and realized something had changed. They felt ashamed. For the first time, they wanted to hide. That evening, as God walked through the garden, He called, "Adam, where are you?" Shaking, Adam and Eve hid among the trees. "We heard you coming, and we were afraid," Adam finally answered. God's voice was sad. "Have you eaten from the tree I commanded you not to eat from?" Adam pointed to Eve. "She gave it to me." Eve looked down. "The serpent tricked me." God's heart was heavy, for He knew what had to happen. Adam and Eve could no longer stay in the garden. Sin had entered the world, and it would bring pain, hardship, and sorrow.